Bolt your windows. Lock your doors. Check your closets. Look under your bed. And then prepare yourself. For it's another episode of Dark Night of the Podcast. Whoa!
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to me. And also, happy fucking birthday, happy 30th birthday to Dark Night of the Podcast. I guess you can say it's a birthday if you consider each episode a year. So either way, we just hit 30 and that's a reason to celebrate. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, absolutely. 30 episodes. Can you believe we've done this 30 times?
I can't believe it. It feels so surreal that we actually saw this through this far. Because when we started, it was rough. You know what I did, Troy? This is an honest to God truth. Because we're in our, 30th year, 30th episode, I went back and I listened to a few of our old ones. And I was listening to our episode where we talked about the Final Girls and I started crying. I literally started weeping listening to us talking about the Final Girls scene with Betty Davis eyes. And I was like, we still got it. We still got it. And you know what? Our quality has improved. I've gone through 3 microphones in 1 year. Big jump. Big jump in quality.
Yeah. That's what we're aiming for. We want the audio and the experience to be as professional as possible.
Only the finest for our listeners.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We're in this for the long haul.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to keep going.
And it was just your birthday too. Happy birthday.
I know. I mean, the reason I use the term birthday is honestly just so we can acknowledge that it was my 35th birthday, which is not a year that I really have been looking forward to. And I had a little bit of a breakdown on my birthday because I was like, I'm 35. What am I doing with my life? So, but I'm back and I'm better than ever. I've bounced back and I'm embracing 35 and all of the benefits, the perks that come with it. I'm sure there are many. I've yet to see them. But yes, it's a big weekend.
I feel like you've accomplished a lot in 35 years. I mean, teacher shortage, come on.
Oh my God. Tell me again. Give me one more of those nominations for one of those Scream Fests. Come on. Yeah, I appreciate it. And you know what better birthday gift, both for us and for technically our 1 year birthday. Like if we're going to be honest, this week was the week that we started Dark Night of the Podcast. So my birthday is the Dark Night of the Podcast birthday. We are completely 1 year into it, and there's no signs of slowing down. We're exactly 30 episodes in, and we thought this was an ideal reason to celebrate. And so we brought a guest. We brought the guest of the moment. Everybody, she's one of my best friends. She's a stunningly beautiful talent. She's a witch. She's an elf. She's a cat lady. And she's an honorary gay man. I mean, she's everything and more. It's Katelynn fucking Newberry.
Hi.
Hi, Katelynn.
Hey.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for coming.
Of course.
Welcome. We are excited to have you. Yay.
I'm excited to be here.
Katelynn, I was so nervous because I was like, I want to feel like, both naturally comedic, but also very professional having you on this podcast. I felt like I had a lot to prove. So I was working overtime waiting for you to come on here, but it's just so wonderful to see your shining face. The listeners can't see it, but they can hear your beautiful voice. And I know a good amount of our listeners are going to know who you are just because we cover all things in the horror genre. But give us rattle it off. Give us the basics. Who is Katelynn Newberry? What makes her tick?
I am an actress currently based out of Atlanta, Georgia. But when Roger and I met back in the day...
Back in the motherfucking day.
Back in the day, I was living in Cleveland, Ohio, which is kind of where I got my start in the film industry, doing a lot of indie horror, which is how Roger and I, of course, met. Doing several amazing projects together, magical moments.
Projects that have films that have withstood the test of time. But But we're all the better because of it.
Yes.
Because at least I have
for
you.
sure. I'm just eternally grateful for that. But yeah, I've at this point done about 70 films. I kind of moved to Atlanta to kind of try to pursue something other than indie horror. Or if it's going to be indie horror, I would like it to be, bigger.
That's a smart move. Yeah, yeah. But that being said, you've definitely made a bit of your name in the horror genre as it is. I would say that you're still going strong in the genre. It seems like you have a lot of projects lined up both inside and outside of the genre, but your roots are definitely in horror, and it seems like your fan base that really supports you also acknowledges that. So how do you feel about horror? Where do you stand with the horror genre? Do you enjoy watching it? Do you enjoy being part of it?
I love both. I love horror movies. I've been watching them as a kid. I never pictured myself as, I didn't even know I was going to be, that was never even, being an actor was not even a goal. It was just kind of something that happened. And I just kind of fell into the genre and I happened to be good at it. So kind of stuck with it. I enjoy it. It's always weird. And I like that. I like that it's always different and strange.
Yeah, you meet strange people and you have strange experiences, and I'll tell you, we've been through some of the best of them. Can you tell me one of your favorite, you don't have to drop names, you don't have to reference projects, but give me one of your favorite indie film experiences. It can be with or without me, but really just like one of those, those experiences, those ones that you never forget.
There's so many. I think one of the strangest things, you were actually involved with this, Roger. This made me question a lot of my life choices, actually, this moment in time. I was on this set forever ago, and it was just a really strange night. Roger and I had been called super early in the evening. We both sat around for 10 hours waiting to do this movie, and it was almost like they forgot about us. Roger went and took a nap. He went to bed on a floor somewhere. He was just like, I'm done. So Roger went to bed, and finally they called us, and I remember the director was like, oh my God. He was like, all right, so in this scene, you're gonna kill Roger. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then he's like, I forgot a prop gun. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so he went and he found the homeowner's antique pistol, and he was like, just use this one. And I was like, I'm not gonna shoot. I'm not gonna point a real gun at Roger's head. And Roger's like, no. Out of anybody in the world, I would trust you to point a gun at me. And I'm like, Roger, no, we're not doing this. This is not happening. So that whole fiasco happened, and then there was for the whole house got filled with fog. I can't even remember what was happening in the storyline at this point. It was just all bizarre. It was a bizarre night. The fog machine was going off to the point that the house was so fogged up that the alarms went off, and it was one of those alarm systems that was attached to the police station. It notifies the police when your alarm goes off. So all of this was happening, and Roger and I were just what choices did we make to end up right here, right now? How did we get here? Why are we doing this? Why are we here? It was.
Why are we still doing this?
Oh yeah, for sure. No, that was definitely a moment that I was like, Katelynn, do you really want to keep doing this, or do we need to take a different path? Obviously, I chose to stick with it. And the sets have since gotten much better, but that was just a bizarre experience. It was just strange. There were taxidermied animals all over the house, and it was just weird.
Yeah, the homeowner was a hunter, and it was it felt like I was on a set for Jumanji or something. It was every breed of every animal I could ever imagine being propped on somebody's wall was there. It was horrifying. It was made to feel like a real nature preserve. There was fake grasses. It was very elaborate. But for every bad moment, there's been a good one, and I'm thankful you stuck with it. I'm thankful I stuck with it. And you've got some really awesome projects that are, coming out now as we speak or on the horizon. I know you're recently involved with the film Widow's Point, which has been getting some really positive reception. So you must be really proud of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie, that was honestly like that was one of my favorite movies to work on. It was the location was just amazing. Craig Schaefer was incredible to work with. He was just one like obviously he's done much bigger stuff than this independent film, and he just really really showed up as an actor and like really gave it him his all, and he's just like a genuinely kind human being.
And you do a lot of work also with your boyfriend Misha Tott too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's super creative and he's super talented. And anyone who doesn't know his name who's listening to this should definitely seek out his work. You guys just did a short called Pretty Metal that's gotten a ton of awards. Like even overseas, it's getting awards right now, and that's getting a lot of buzz. So I'm excited to see what's to come from that. But how that has to be making you feel really good to know that like this recent short that you did is just getting like all this love. I mean, you never know what's going to make one of these projects hit, and sometimes they do, and it gets all this positive reception, and that has to feel just really great.
Yeah, that one, so far, the other day, I think he told me it was like 35 awards in 7 different countries or something like that.
That's amazing and very deserved all across the board. Super talented cast and crew for sure. So yeah, listeners need to check out Pretty Metal and what that's doing, and just check out Katelynn's work in general. And we'll definitely touch on some more of the things that you have coming up here in the near future when we wrap up this segment. But right now, I want to shift our focus to the title at hand. Because as we've learned from a lot of our listeners and a lot of our fans, and Troy, I know you can attest to this, this is a very sacred title with a lot of gay men.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah, the gays love May. The gays love May. And I think it makes sense having revisited it. I haven't watched it in years, but I remember being really impacted when I first saw it in the early 2000s, around the time it came out. And I'm happy I revisited it because I think this title holds the fuck up. And I just think that it's a lot of really cool dark themes that would resonate well with you. So I was curious to throw this title at you and see what you think of it. So today is May Day.
Mayday, Mayday. And you have never seen May, correct? Katelynn, you've never seen it?
I have never seen it. Yeah, this was my first time seeing it.
Which is awesome. So
yeah,
this will be a good conversation. But yeah, it was 2002, directed by Lucky McKee, who is a horror staple himself. I mean, he's done, he did The Woman. I know I'm missing another film that he did that's pretty well known, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But I really think that May is considered like his like crowning jewel of a film. And he works with Angela Bettis on a consistent basis. I had the pleasure several years ago, I think it was right after The Woman came out, to actually interview him. And it's on my blog that I don't really keep up anymore, but the interview is still there. If you go to frightmeter.com, you can read through it. It was mainly about The Woman because I just come out. But there are, I know I asked him about May, and he kind of gives some details about that film. So it's really cool to be able to revisit this film. Because like you, I haven't seen it for a long time, but when I first saw it, I remember it had a huge impact on me, a huge impact.
And one of the things I think that is already for anyone who's not seen this, the cast in this, you look at a lot of these people, and these are faces that not only do you just see consistently throughout popular cinema, but within the horror genre in general. You've got, Angela Bettis, she's done the Toolbox Murders, and keep in mind her made-for-TV remake of Carrie, in which she was one of the few really standout good parts of it. But hey, if you have a good Carrie, that's asset to you. But and then she's also in Girl Interrupted. I mean, so she's got a really great, diverse background in film. And then Anna Faris, who is very talented, but widely mostly known for her roles in the Scary Movie series. And I find her performance here really great. And it's kind of sad that this, I don't want to say went under the radar for her, but like, this is one of those performances when people name off what Anna Faris does, this isn't going to come up first and foremost, and that's a shame because this is a great turn from her. I think she does really well in this role. Jeremy Sisto, we have from Wrong Turn, and then James Duvall, who aside from Donnie Darko, is also in Clown at Midnight, which brings us so full circle with our show because that was one of our early films that we reviewed, and here he is again, rearing his head.
I think it was episode 2 or 3 that we did Clown at Midnight, and he is in that. I gotta say, Anna Faris, the first time I ever saw Anna Faris was in a very probably little seen slasher movie from 1999 called Lover's Lane. And she basically spends the movie in a cheerleader outfit and has a pretty grisly demise. But I wrote a review about Lover's Lane, and it's, like I said, it's on Fright Meter. I predicted that Anna Faris was going to be a star when I first saw her in Lover's Lane, which is a admittedly pretty cheesy slasher film, but she was a huge standout, so charismatic on screen that I wrote, whoever this Anna Faris is that plays whatever character in her cheerleader outfit, you better watch out for her. She's going to be a star. So I predicted it, just so you know. Just so you know, Anna.
You wish that into fruition. You are the reason that Anna Faris took off, and I'm sure she's grateful to you to this day. But yeah, the cast really is phenomenal in this, and I think it's a very character-driven story. I mean, this is an actor's film. I think it's strong because of a lot of reasons, but mostly because of the performances that translate onto the screen in this. I mean, as an extremely strong female lead in Angela Bettis, it has a really strong female arc, especially for the early 2000s. It touches on some lesbian vibes, like hardcore, that I don't think you'd really get a lot of in those days. Maybe in like the L Word or something, but I think it was just kind of ahead of its time. And the performances really carry this movie.
Yeah, the lesbian vibe, I totally forgot how prevalent it is in this film. I just totally forgot that it was so like bold and in your face. The lesbian vibes, the gay vibes, which I totally appreciated because, like you said, Angela Bettis and Anna Faris together, I feel like are electric. They have such good chemistry together on screen that it really it played very well, very well.
Yeah. Katelynn, you've played a lot of strong roles. You've played a lot of queer roles. You've had a chance to kind of play a diverse cast of characters in your time. And so this is a very like female-driven film, which the female story is right in the forefront. What did you think of, like, upon your first viewing, how did you come away from this movie? How did it leave you feeling?
My favorite part of the movie was Angela Bettis, for sure. I think she's incredible. She was so uncomfortable to watch. I was so uncomfortable, and like I am somebody that has anxiety, so just like watching her go through all of this stuff, like my anxiety was like freaking out because she's just so uncomfortable. So she was definitely my favorite part of the movie.
I think her big one thing worth acknowledging with Angela Bettis, like my favorite takeaway from the character of May is that she is not afraid to be unappealing or ugly on camera, or like Angela Bettis just dives into a role, and whatever it takes, no matter how gritty or uncomfortable or physically unattractive that role needs to be, she doesn't care. She gives her all to a performance, and you really see that on display in May.
The nuances were pretty incredible, and like the body language and everything, and watching that shift throughout the movie was a lot of fun to watch as well.
I literally wrote down, like, she's so good in the role that literally every line out of her mouth is a separate note for me because of her vocal tones and how she holds herself, and like you said, her mannerisms and everything. And I don't know, she's just so good at playing that kind of role. It's a standout performance.
It is. I've always said she should have gotten an Oscar nomination for this film. I know that back in 2002 she did get a few Critic Award nominations. But she deserved an Oscar nomination for this film. I will always say that. You know, it's one of the horror performances that has been snubbed by the Academy, and I'm still confused why she's not better known. Like, she's an amazing actress.
Yeah, I agree with that. When I was watching this, I had never seen her before. Like maybe in Girl Interrupted, but I don't remember seeing her. I don't think, and I was confused by that as well. I was watching her and I was like, oh my God, this woman is amazing. And so I went to her IMDb and I'm like, she's in all, she needs to be in more stuff. She's incredible.
Yeah, she's always really clung to the indie film. She's never, I think, really made it a point to attach herself to bigger productions, and maybe that's intentional, you know? She often just takes an indie route. I know she recently was in a film. It was kind of, it had been a break for her. I'm trying to think of the title. I really should seek this out. But I know she recently did a movie set in a hospital.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, 24 hour. Oh,
12 hours or something like that.
12-hour shift, some of them.
12, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was.
Yeah, it's just good to see her back because she's one of those people, she'll pop up now and then and she'll receive a lot of praise and attention and then she kind of just goes back and does her thing. So I respect that. I respect that. But what a good cast.
Yeah, and I mean her, and we'll get on with the movie, but I just gotta say, yeah, the made for TV remake of Carrie's pretty meh, but she's incredible in the role.
Oh, yeah.
It blows Chloe Grace Moritz out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
And what I liked about her performance in Carrie versus what Chloe Moritz did is she did not try to copy Sissy Spacek. She did her own thing with the character, where you could tell like Chloe Grace Moritz was trying to copy Sissy Spacek. The quirks that she brings to her Carrie character, much like she does with the May character, just made it that much more appealing and watchable. Like you can't take your eyes off of her when she's on screen. She's always doing something with her face or with her body that's just you just want to watch her. But yeah, the film starts with. Actually, it starts with like a foreshadowing or a flashback because it starts with her screaming with holding her eye, bleeding. Kind of a jarring way to start a film because you're like, what the hell? But then it basically goes to her childhood and we find out that she has a lazy eye as a little girl.
I have to tell you something right now, like diving into this. I don't know if you know this. I'm sure you do because I still have it to a certain extent. But as a child, I had a severe lazy eye and the exact same kind of lazy eye that May has. So
Did you wear a pirate's patch?
Well, yes. Listen, this is. I mean, this movie. I forgot how much it resonated with me because, like, I remember the lazy eye aspect to a certain extent, but I didn't remember how prevalent it was. And so when I was 7, and then again, I had another surgery in the 5th grade. I had 2 cosmetic surgeries to construct my eye because my mother was like, "You have a severe lazy eye, and you will be made fun of really badly if." We don't do something about it. So my mom was thoughtful enough to get corrected, but I did it in between the surgeries to get my eye to readjust properly because they took the eye out, cut the muscle, sewed it back together, put it back in. I had to wear eye patch and then I had to wear special glasses during this time frame. Yeah, and so I still have a bit of a lazy eye. And so the moment I saw that eye, I was like, oh god, yeah, I forgot how much this resonates with me, you know?
So you were May. You were May as a kid.
I was May. More ways than one.
But yeah, so her mother makes her wear this pirate patch and sends her to school. And of course the kids are, oh, are you a pirate? I feel bad for her because, she doesn't have any friends. And it's her birthday. And she obviously, I think the purpose of showing this scene was A, to show that this is a little girl's birthday and nobody's there at her party. And B, because her mother gives her the creepiest fucking doll I've ever seen in my life. And it's in a glass box to top it off.
She's not even allowed to touch it. The mom's like, here, I got you this. Don't take it out. Susie.
It's Susie.
Caitlin, Susie. You could do a really good Susie cosplay. You, Caitlin, could, because you're so porcelain white. You just need bright blue contacts.
Just have a creepy look on my face the whole time. That doll was terrifying. Also, her mother was terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mom definitely was had some, in the little brief amount of time that we see her, it's very clear the mom has some weird obsessive things about her. Even how the father responded to her. I'm sure this all plays into the fact that, now May as a grown woman is completely unstable,
Yeah, because there was the scene where she's unwrapping the doll and the mother's like, oh, you've ruined it.
Yeah.
Because apparently she didn't like the way she was unwrapping the present, which what difference does it make? You're just taking wrapping paper. The mother yanked it away from her and unwrapped the present herself. So yeah, there was some issues there with the mother. The mother was kind of not playing with the full deck, I don't think.
Not many people in this movie are, I would say.
No. Okay, we're going to get there because the characters in this movie are fucking just...
All of them are batshit. They're all wackadoos. But so we jump into a period of May's life now, which is, I guess, supposed to be present at the time. And you see that she's really evolved into a very socially off individual. She's talking to that doll, having full-on conversations with her. I mean, as we all do, though. As we all do. Caitlin, you talk to your cats. I know it.
I talk to my cats. There's one right there. You guys can't see him, but he's there. There's two.
But yeah, she's pretty. It's pretty quick and it's pretty clear to make it obvious that May has not aged normally. She's very stunted in a lot of aspects of her life. Her socialization skills, sexually, how she just interacts with people. She's obviously deprived of having any kind of close relationship with anyone, and because of that, she's very yearnful for it. And that's her main focus of the film, is looking for somebody who kind of completes that for her.
Yeah. Well, she's having the she's making an outfit while she's having a conversation with this doll, and we find out that she is very giddy and excited because she quote unquote met somebody and she's going on a date with him, which basically means she saw a guy she thought was cute. She didn't talk to him. She just sat and stared at him creepily for like an hour, and now she's telling the doll, "Oh, I'm going on a date with this guy. I met a boy, and and she's all giddy about it." I'm like, "You didn't even talk to him. Like, what are you doing, May? What are you doing?"
Basically stalking him. That's a date night for her. May is stalking the guy that she thinks is cute.
She doesn't understand like the courting rituals and how they even go. Like, and you see this throughout the whole process of the movie as well. Like, she does not understand how to convey like attraction to somebody or how to like establish parameters with people. That's another big problem she has. She doesn't understand boundaries at all. So May's struggling with all the basics, but she's really taken a fancy to a guy who we eventually find out, yeah, she has not even actually had a conversation with at this point.
And she loves his hands. She loves his hands. That's all she can talk about is how gorgeous his hands are, which becomes very cringeworthy here in a few more scenes.
It does.
But so yeah, we know there's obviously something not right with her. But what I do want to say is I still find her very appealing for some reason. Like I don't find the character, like, even though we kind of know that she's weird within the first couple minutes of the film, I'm still kind of charmed by her. And I think Angela Bettis brings a lot of that to the performance. But it's not like I'm like, oh God, I don't want to watch this girl. You start to care about her. And because we know her life obviously has had to have been very difficult based on what we saw in the opening scene and just how socially awkward she is. So it's sort of like, I keep going back to it, but it's sort of like a Carrie. She's basically like a Carrie character, which is ironic since she did play Carrie, but it's a very similar type of character where the character inherently becomes bad, but we as the audience, I still feel like we have a deep connection, and so what I'm looking for, just connection to the character.
She's very misunderstood, and we see that, but the people around her don't necessarily understand why.
The people around her are just shitty fucking people.
People around her, honestly, like the whole time I was watching this movie, the people around her are just predators that want something from her and are just taking advantage of her.
They're taking advantage of the fact that they know that she craves attention and friends, and she wants that. And they are taking, you're right, they're taking full advantage of it. And we'll get there. Mm-hmm. So she is getting contact lenses to fix this lazy eye, which was a cool scene because she's even telling the eye doctor about this guy that she's going on a date with on Friday. I'm like, what? Where? She blatantly tells the eye doctor, I have a date on Friday. Is my eye going to look better by then? And I want to know, did Angela Bettis really do that with her eye?
I was wondering the same thing.
I mean, if she did, again, she should have got an Oscar.
For that alone.
For that alone.
The woman an Oscar. There's got to be some kind of prop contact or something.
I don't know. I was like,
maybe, yeah.
What if it doesn't go back? Like, what if she's filming like that and she's like, I can't get it back?
Because she full on for like 5 minutes of this film has a lazy eye that is, and I'm like, is she really doing that? Like, how do you teach yourself to do that?
It's really uncomfortable.
And keep it like that. But she gets contacts and it fixes her lazy eye. And then she is blatantly stalking this guy now. She finds out where he works. He works at a mechanic shop, and she is eating her lunch. She like takes her lunch breaks in front of his mechanic shop so she can watch him. And she's just eating the sandwich all seductively, watching him.
Oh, she's eating a chili dog, and I have never related to anybody in a film more than Angela Bettis sitting at a picnic table eating a chili dog while wearing those like after eye surgery, like you get those eye drops and then you get those special sunglasses and they're like askew on her face because she's just so awkward and she's just watching this man eating this chili dog, just drooling over him. I'm like, Angela Bettis, I see you. I've never seen anyone as clearly as I see you right now.
I don't blame her. I don't blame her because early 2000s Jeremy Sisto was ace. I mean, he is a gorgeous man.
He's got like young John Travolta vibes for days.
So I don't blame her. I don't blame her. I don't blame me at all. He was in Wrong Turn. Remember, he was in Wrong.
He was, yeah. He was sexy in that too. He's always had such a charming presence on camera. He's another one. You know, we talk about Angela Bettis. And we're like, why don't we see them more often? I've always been baffled as to how and why Jeremy Sisto hasn't been more of like a breakout presence because he's so natural on camera and like he plays kind of a creep in this movie, but I've seen him play the opposite of it, and he's great at playing likable characters too. So I think that's almost why this character, at first, you don't know whether or not you're supposed to like him or dislike him, and then as it goes on, you're like, oh, I see who he is, you know? But he does have a charming presence on camera, and I just think he's really good to fucking look at.
But I mean, he is a creep, but May does herself no favors with him at all. If she would have did things a little differently, I think could have been, they could have been good, but she did herself no favors at all.
She gets a little ahead of herself, I feel. is her May's biggest fault is she just jumps right from point A to point Z.
Yeah.
With anybody she meets. She doesn't take any time in getting to know someone. Right away she's putting her head in people's hands and, I don't know, biting people. You got to ease into the weird. And she doesn't get that, and which is sad. But you know what? There's one character who I think is genuinely intrigued, like really intrigued by May's weirdness. And the relationship is so weird because of it. Is Anna Faris's Polly,
which
works with...
We meet in the next scene.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because... Angela Bettis, May. She works at an animal hospital, which again I kind of related to because that was one of my first jobs. I worked in an animal hospital. Yeah,
you are May.
I am May too. We're all May. And I can tell you something. When Angela Bettis was telling the scene coming up when she was telling him about a experience she had in the animal hospital, I was like, oh God, I got stories too. I could tell about working in an animal hospital because I did it because I loved animals and I wanted to be a vet. But after working there for a year, I was like, nope. But we are introduced to Polly, played by the beautiful Anna Faris, who I have to say, her wardrobe in this movie is ace.
Oh my God, especially considering where she works.
I know. She works at this little hole in the wall, like animal hospital run by this, what is he, like a Russian guy that can barely speak English. And she's decked out every time she's at work. She's wearing like these skin tight, beautiful dresses and
crop tops.
One of the reasons I also thought Katelynn was good for this, I was like, God, Katelynn's really gonna like Anna Faris's wardrobe because it's all just like
it was happening. And I was like, why is she dressed like that? What is happening? How do I get a job there?
I mean, there is a scene where she is literally wearing like a white blouse with this black leather skirt and has like these knee-high black leather boots. I'm like, bitch, you're a receptionist at an animal hospital. What are you? And her hair's always beautiful. Yes. But I love her character so much. Although I have to say, I mean, she does treat May like a piece of shit, but
I'll do.
I just love her character. She's so just charming and again, screen presence for miles.
Oh, yeah.
I love, the first time we're introduced to her, she's asking May what a scoople is. What's a scoople? Because she can't understand the guy, the veterinarian, and he's saying scalpel, but he pronounces it scoople. But May knows right away what she's talking about.
This is a running joke, by the way, that I love.
It is.
Like every time like you're in the animal hospital with Anna Faris, this is Polly character, she's going to have like a line about something where she completely misunderstood what something was. And oh my God, there's one that she says about like a cat where like, she says, Dr. Sikorsky needs you to do a Focasimum on the miskate, which is like the way she says it is just, Anna Faris is such a way of like delivering dialogue that's just is so like airy and bubbly and breathy, and it works so well with this character. She really like shines in this role. And one thing I do want to acknowledge is, even though all the characters in this use May, I think that Anna Faris's character is, I almost look at her as like a polyamorous kind of personality. I don't know if I so much look at it as using May as just like that's how she is. You know, like she's basically a gay man in a lesbian's body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking, and we'll get to why we say that, but very much I was thinking the same thing. And it's very refreshing to see a female, a lesbian character, because in this film Anna Faris is a lesbian that is so like confident with her sexuality, and is, like you said, what you would traditionally think of as a gay man, where she's just interested in having sex. Like she has a high sex drive. That's what she wants. She makes no qualms about it. She basically at one point tells, May, hey, she's just a piece of ass. Like I'm not, I can't, how can I pass that up? I'm not passing that up. So you don't see that sort of portrayal very much at all. So it was really cool to see that. And again, Anna Faris as a seductress lesbian, I'm here for it. I am here for it.
First line, when she started delivering dialogue, because I had no idea what I was in for watching this movie. When she started, it was so jarring to me, because I've never seen her in a character like this. I've never seen her in a role like this. But I also really liked her. I thought it was fun. It was a fun change.
Yeah, and I also I forget that for Scary Movie, when she did the Scary Movie films, to make her feel more Neve Campbell, like they dyed her hair dark. She's naturally a blonde, so seeing her with this dark hair, it was also like, oh my gosh, that era when she came out, and that's how she was known. Because she looks very convincing as a brunette. She's someone who can do both colors very well. She's like a Cameron Diaz. They can do any color. They look good. Yeah.
Yeah. She is naturally blonde. And like I said, when I saw Lover's Lane back in 99, she's blonde in that. And so I saw her, it was Scary Movie. When I saw Scary Movie, I'm like, oh my God, she looks so familiar. And then I'm like, oh my God, that's the girl from Lover's Lane that I said was going to be a star. Yay, me. But I think she's gorgeous in this film. Yeah, this is one of her probably best performances, even though it's not like there's not a lot of depth to the performance. It's pretty one note, but it's just so charming. And she's so magnetic. It's really
definitely.
Yeah. She gets her contacts, and now her lazy eye is fixed, so she gets to show her doll. This fucking doll.
That doll becomes more and more prevalent as the movie goes on, and it is just only more and more uncomfortable. The whole thing with this whole concept of breaking glass, the case that the doll is in, it is a consistent throughout the movie, and you notice right away, right off the bat, that there's already a crack that's started in the top left-hand corner of the glass. And this glass is super symbolic in so many ways. As the movie goes on, the cracking of the glass is very symbolic. So I really think this relationship between her and the doll is weird. It's weird. She should be talking to somebody regarding this, but it's her only friend, and so she can't wait to tell her about these contacts.
And after that, again, we get the major stalker vibes from May, because she has basically timed it so that she is walking across the street at the same time as this guy that is her love interest, or she wants to be her love interest, who's Jeremy Sisto's character. So she has timed it so they're walking across the street at the same time, and she's supposed to, I guess she wants him to see her, but right as they pass, he lights a cigarette and doesn't see her, and she's all upset about that. She kind of scuttles away, and it's just like the lengths that she's going to try to meet this guy. Right away, there's some issues.
It's very desperate. It's very desperate. And Katelynn, you're I know that you've played some roles that are very internal in your head. You know what I mean? As an actress, I know that you've gotten to play roles like May, where a lot of the storytelling that you've had to tell has been in your face and been in your body language. And I think the biggest areas of Angela Bettis' performance that shine the most are when you see what's going on behind her eyes, and not so much in her dialogue, because she's performing the entire time you see her on camera. What do you normally, to get into a role like that, what do you have to dive into as an actress to get there?
Honestly, I'm just a really empathetic person. And I think that carries over well as an actor. A lot of times I really just imagine what it would be like to be that person. I'd like to think that Angela Bettis is also very good at empathizing with people just based on her performance in May, because I mean that I feel like that kind of things comes from empathizing with people.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that because I think that's why she's so comfortable playing the outcasts and if you look at her lineup of roles, like the ones that we mentioned, you have Carrie, you have May, you have her performance as of the burn victim in Girl Interrupted. She's very willing to take on emotionally damaged or fragile roles. And I think it takes a certain mentality to be able to tackle that kind of material, and do it justice and not make it over the top or a parody of mental illness, But she does a great job, and it evolves as the film goes on. It really evolves. But yeah, so she basically decides that every time you kind of see her trying to pursue Adam, which is Jeremy Sisto's character, it isn't really working. So she always kind of steps up her game, and you finally start to see her working on a piece of wardrobe with this red fabric. You see her actually getting into her sewing machine and working on this top that eventually gets revealed to be this crop top in which she's obviously not wearing a bra, and she's strutting and her little boobies are bouncing and she looks all into it and confident. But before that scene, there is also a moment with a guy who brings his dog in, and he has this piece of dialogue where he's like, I left for vacation. My dog had all of its legs. When I came home, it only had 3. I can't find the other leg. It's so random, but I love that scene.
It is random as fuck. Yeah,
There's one little moment with him again, but then you never know what exactly happened. But you get all these awkward little scenes spliced in between that give the characters so much life. And that leads into this moment where she crafts this top and she's strutting up after Jeremy Sisto, after Adam, and she follows him into this coffee shop. And she finally pursues him. She's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to win him over. And she does it. But her means of going about doing it are a little bold, to say the least.
Yeah. She's watching him. He's reading a book. She gets up, she walks over by his table, and she's acting like she's putting creamer in her coffee, watching him. And what's he do? He falls asleep. He falls asleep, but he does it in this awkward position so that his hand is up. He's leaning on one hand and his other hand is just kind of propped up on the table. And she proceeds to go over to him, and it's so uncomfortable to watch. She starts to rub her cheek and face against his hand, and it's so prolonged and uncomfortable, and you're waiting for him to wake up and see what she's doing, but it's they're dragging it out.
The score is it's tense. It's so everything about it. Katelynn, have you ever had something like this happen where you've, I don't know, unknowingly had someone touching you, and have you ever passed out and woken up to find somebody? No.
Probably. I probably have. I've probably blocked it out because if I woke up and somebody was rubbing their hand in on their face, I would try to block that out. I feel for me that's really, really traumatizing, and I feel I get traumatized really easily. So yeah, I'm sure I have. I'm sure I've just blocked it out. I probably still speak to the person that has done something weird to me. I'm sure of it.
Well, let's hope after this episode that happens, so we can add that story to the record book. Because yeah, it is horribly awkward. It is probably more cringy than any violence you see in the movie, to be honest.
It is. But he does wake up and catches her, and he's looking at her, and she backs up and she falls on her ass. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And she just gets up and runs away. I mean,
a perfect introduction to your new love interest. Have you ever had anyone though? I know Katelynn, you've got a ton of fans and followers on social media. What's the cringiest thing that anyone's ever done to try to win your love, win your attention?
I get a ton of just weird and bizarre messages in my social media, in like my DMs. Just like, I don't know, just like people can say really bizarre things, and it's not just men, because I've had women say really bizarre things to me as well. I won't go into details because like I don't want somebody to listen to this and be like embarrassed that they said some of these things to me, but like, oh, I get some weird messages and some weird requests.
Yeah, those DMs, you got to be careful with those. So she obviously runs back to work, or it's the next day, because she's at work and she is sitting in a room, like stabbing herself with a scalpel, cutting her finger with a scalpel. And just nonchalantly, and it's bleeding, and Polly walks in and sees that it's happening, and she's like, "What are you doing?"
I'm going to be honest, I've been working on my Anna Faris impersonation specifically for this episode, because she has a very specific style of talking. You know what I mean? Like, Anna Faris has a one sound to her. It doesn't matter what role she's playing. She's always great, but she's always like, "Oh, wow, what are you doing with that scalpel?" and then she's like, "Oh, it's kind of sexy." She'll like giggle, like her giggles and her like little like audible laughter to herself throughout this movie. It's great. I love her. She's the best. She's so good in this role. But then, so at first she's like creeped out by what she sees her doing, but then she makes May like stab her too, and she ends up finding it really sexy, which kind of shows that, you know, she's got a screw loose.
Yeah.
Well, no, May actually stabs her without her asking, because she's like, "Why did you do that for, you crazy bitch?" And then she's like, "But I kind of like
it. That for, you crazy bitch." Like, oh my God, I love her. Yeah, and her like big eyes, like her reactions to everything are so exaggerated. She's so great. She's in a movie. I just have to say it. Anyone who's listening to this, Anna Faris is in the movie Smiley Face. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a fucking favor. It's about a girl who eats an entire tray of weed brownies and goes out and explores LA, and it's worth your time. It's worth your time. But yeah, back to May.
This is when the guy brings the dog leg back. Like, we get a shot of the dog's severed leg, and he's like, "Oh, I found it in the garden." And he's like, "Can you sew it back on?" And May is like, "Yeah, I can." But we don't know. Did she sew it back on? What happened? Because that's the end of it. That's the last time it's ever brought up.
I think it was like trying to show that she may have some skills that could be useful in the long run.
Well, and it's also showing that she's not like fully conceiving the fact that just sewing dead limbs onto things is going to you know, be able to survive, because that dog will get blood poisoning and that limb will fall off. But it doesn't seem to faze her.
She could do it.
She can do it nonetheless.
Yeah. She can do it.
And thus the story really begins.
It does, because now she's at the laundromat, and this is when she runs into Adam, and they actually have their first sort of conversation. And she's so awkward. Like, he is he realizes he runs out of laundry detergent, and she's like, "Here, you can use mine." And she hands him a scoop, and she like spills it all over him, and he's like, "Oh, thanks." And then she just stares. She literally stares at him and doesn't say a word for like 30 seconds. She's just smiling at him and gawking at him, and he's like, "Yeah, can I help you?" And she's like, "I just love your hands. They're so beautiful."
Very bold. That is a very bold statement to somebody that she just met.
Yeah. And he seems put off by it, but strangely intrigued. As I suppose you would be with that kind of attention. Everyone likes getting hit on. Like, let's be real. And with her eyes not wonky, and even despite her strange appearance, she's still a cute little thing. She's cute like a button.
Yeah,
so
super cute.
Yeah, so he's like, "Oh, this is awkward yet pleasant girl is giving me attention," and so he kind of runs with it a little bit, and he plays, you know, he hits the ball back in her direction.
Yeah, he takes her out to smoke, and She doesn't smoke, but she does now, apparently.
For him.
This was so uncomfortable to watch. Watching her try to light up that cigarette was just so like everything that she was doing with her mouth and her hands and everything. I was just, it was, I mean, she's got a lot of like cringy moments, but this was a lot.
Yeah, well, they go back into the laundromat and they're getting their clothes out of the dryer, and he's getting ready to leave, and she sees he has race car underwear, a little race car tidy whities, and he's like, "Oh," she's like, "Race cars," and he's like, "Yo, yeah, my girlfriend bought them for me," and her demeanor changes like that, like that, sullen.
Just sullen. She just sinks. She's like, oh.
Won't make eye contact with him.
She's all frowning and frumping. Yeah, and he starts to walk away, and he turns around and he's like, "Oh, I met my ex-girlfriend." And then she's beaming again, smiling and batting her eyes at him. And he gives her cigarettes and tells her, "Here, you got to practice." And these cigarettes become another sort of just symbolic thing throughout the movie, this pack of cigarettes that he gives her.
Because she's so kind of focused on wanting to impress him, and really, to me, they symbolize the whole fact of how far she's willing to go to, in a lot of ways, change herself for these shitty people to accept her, and welcome her into their lives, and her willingness to take on this habit of smoking, which is gross. It just, it's sad. It's honestly sad how willing she is to be like, just drop everything and change herself for this guy. But it shows what people do when they're lonely, you know?
Yeah. She's going back to her apartment, talking to herself in the elevator. She's basically rehashing conversations that they had to herself in the elevator.
Yeah.
And then she goes as far as to sleep with the pack of cigarettes.
Well, and she even says, like, she's, like, reciting the dialogue back to herself of the combo, and she's like, "See you around." Like, "See you around," which is something anybody would say to any average person, and she's so taken and smitten with it. And it just goes to show just how little she's had in the sense of love and flirtation and romance. She just doesn't grasp it.
No, she does not at all. And it just gets kind of, I mean, their encounters just start to get a little more and more like intense, and I feel uncomfortable. But for some reason, he still is trying to entertain her. Because the next scene is the one you're talking about, where they're back at the veterinarian hospital, and Polly's character is like, the fecal exam on Miss Kitty. But when May walks into work, right away you can tell that her whole she's so much happier. There's pep in her step. Even Polly's character is like, "Oh, well, look at you, Miss Happy. What got you so happy?" And we know it's because she met Adam, but there's no indication that he wanted anything to do with her. But in her mind, she's already like painting this relationship and what they're going to be. But they literally bumped into each other at the laundromat. This is how much this girl craves attention, and it's really sad to watch, because unfortunately there are people like this, that can't, what's the word I'm looking for, or misinterpret things with people, and it ends up bad.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing that's really kind of like, well, just sad and unfortunate about this is it's none of her fault, When the little bit we see of her upbringing and everything, this stems mostly from the fact that she's just a lonely person, and it's not coming from a selfish place so much as I think just a desire to be loved. She has nobody, and so it's easy to sympathize with her, even when her tactics are, not necessarily the most sane or normal. But like you said earlier, Katelynn, she's an anti-hero, and even as the movie progresses, you still feel for her.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there was never a moment in this movie when I wanted her to fail. Like I always wanted her to succeed in what she was doing. Like
we said earlier, this is definitely a good for you girl movie. even if it ends up on a kind of a dark note, good for you, girl.
Yeah, good for you, girl. Good for you.
But yeah, so she eventually ends up going on like a first date with Adam.
Well, she bumps into him crossing the street because, again, remember, she has timed when basically every move he makes, she knows what he's doing. So she makes sure she meets him out on his lunch break and crosses the street. She bumps into him, and she doesn't say a word to him. Like, he's like,
it's really awkward.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, May," and she's just like grinning at him.
She just stares.
And he's like, "Do you want to go get some lunch?" Being nice. So they go, and he has a sandwich, and he cuts a sandwich and shares a sandwich with her. And he's asking about her. What do you do? And she's like, "Oh, I work at an animal hospital." And he's like, "Oh, that's interesting. I bet that can be pretty like gross." Or she says most people think it's gross. And he's like, "Yeah, I can imagine it will be." He's like, "Tell me a story about something that's happened." So she proceeds to tell him this story about a dog that had surgery, but the veterinarian hospital had run out of like sutures that were suitable for dogs. So they used cat sutures, doubled up on cat sutures. So the owner took the dog home and got home from work one day, and the dog was laying in the backyard with its guts hanging out and guts strewn upon the yard. But the way she's telling it, she's almost like...
she's unfazed.
She's smiling. She's smiling and she's eating the sandwich through this scene, and it was so uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah. And
like, as she's explaining this.
And I love the look he gives her.
Yeah, because at a certain point, he's like, "This is so much more than I fucking bargained for." Like, he's like, "Tell me a story." And I think he was expecting it to be like kind of gross. And she gives him the most detailed, elaborate story possible. And she tells it completely straight faced the entire time. She's so calm and serene and almost enjoying it. It's very weird.
Yeah. Almost enjoying
His
it.
look is priceless, though.
Yeah.
The look that he gives her after she tells his story is fucking priceless. It's so funny. And then they see the kids playing at the playground, and she asks him why they're touching everything, because we see the kids are touching each other, touching trees, and we find out that these are blind kids from the daycare center that's close by.
And there's a lot of them.
There are a lot of them.
There's a lot. I know. I was like, how many?
There must be something wrong with the water or something, because like how... Yes.
There's a whole field of them.
It's got to be the water. It's got to. Something in the water messes with their eyes.
Yes, and that's why there's about 30 blind children in this summer camp. But one thing I like about this moment is the scene wraps up, and you're almost left with I don't want to say like a ray of hope, but you almost feel like, oh, they're connecting, because he turns to her and he says, "Well, I guess you can say your job takes a lot of guts." Like, even though she told this really repulsive story and he was kind of like put off by it, he still like is able to like throw out a little joke, and she takes that, very obviously takes that as like, oh, he gets me, he understands me, and it's just one more reason to make everything that much sadder as it develops.
Yeah, and there's the moment where he's like, "I have to go," and she's like, "Don't go." It's kind of sad and desperate, and he's like, "What?" And she doesn't repeat herself, thank God, but he does say, "Can we see each other again?" And she's like, "Yes, tonight, like, let's do it." So yeah, you do feel like, okay, so this guy seems like a pretty nice guy. He seems like he kind of is into her a little bit, or at least understands her, and kind of is charmed by her awkwardness, because the little glances and little grins he gives her throughout this whole scene, or when they first met, you really do get the idea that, yeah, he knows that she's pretty socially, not all there in terms of her interaction with people, but I think he's charmed by it, because he even tells her he likes weird people here in the scene upcoming with them. But before they go out on their date, she gets some advice from her doll. She asks Susie.
From Susie.
And we don't hear anything Susie's saying, but she's like, "Yes, okay, yeah, I'll do that." It's like, okay. Oh, man.
But the way they it's so weird over the course of this movie, the whole presence of the doll, and even up to the end, which I think you guys will understand where I'm going with this. The doll, she has these conversations with the doll. She's talking to the doll as though it's responding. And then you have these moments where you see the glass like cracking and breaking and shattering, and she's hearing this audio, and it's almost got this like supernatural kind of element to it. And the only reason I really say that or lean on that at all is considering how the movie ends.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
like there is definitely a hint, just a whisper of a supernatural vibe to this movie. And I love that because they don't lean in it too heavily, but like there's definitely something going on with the doll. You know, there's definitely something with the doll, something more with the doll, and that carries through to the very final moment in the film.
So I actually, when I was watching it, I never felt that it was a supernatural thing. I always thought that it was just in her head. That was just how I perceived it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I never thought that it was super, but I could see how you would, I could see how that could be perceived that way though,
Yeah,
for sure.
We'll get to the ending, but the ending leaves a lot of questions.
it
The
does.
ending
Yeah.
leaves a lot of questions, and I guess can be interpreted several different ways, whether you do think it's
Sure, yeah.
supernatural or do you think it was in her head. But
Well, and Caitlin, with what you were saying really quick, there's something to acknowledge with that is that when you hear the cracking of the grass, the grass, when you hear the cracking of the glass, you see shots of the glass like kind of cracking across, like spider webbing across this glass panel. But then it'll show moments where the glass is almost gone back. It's not as broken
Yes.
as it was.
I
Yeah.
I
Yes.
noticed that, especially in the scene where she takes it to the classroom. There's
Yes.
not a crack in
Yeah.
the glass.
Yeah, so I do think
Yeah.
that is also symbolic of what you're saying, Caitlin, and we will touch on that more
Yeah.
later. But I just because you presented that, I think you're right. When I say the supernatural thing, I do think it's more of in her head, but it's almost like the doll takes on this whole separate entity form in her world, in her universe.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I agree.
But their date is they're apparently their big date is sitting in a car in his mechanic shop, eating chips and salsa, eating chips and salsa.
So romantic.
But he does ask her. He's like, "What were you doing to me at the restaurant?" And she doesn't answer him. She just said she does answer him. She does answer him, and it's kind of she says, "I feel so embarrassed, but I've never had a boyfriend." And right here, you're like, well, you don't have one now. Like, this isn't your boyfriend. This is like the second time you've seen this guy. So why are you talking about like boyfriend, like making it sound like rubbing your hand against his face in a restaurant makes him your boyfriend? It was just a really awkward thing. And then she's like, well, do you like me? Or do you think I'm weird? And he's like, yeah, you're weird, but I like weird. And it's kind of, again, it's very touching. It's a very touching moment because she's so happy, and he does seem genuine. To a point where, again, she tells him his hands are so beautiful. She's obsessed with his hands. But this is the moment where I got a little confused with his character because he immediately, I think he picks up on like how, what's the word, desperate that she is, because he immediately says, you want to go back to my place? And I'm like, oh, dude, really? Really? Like,
Yeah. This is kind of when I was like, oh, this guy's a predator.
he knows that she's super into him. So
Yeah.
they go back to his place and they actually proceed to, well, they find that he has this fake knife that they play with. It's very provocative. He pushes it into her chest, or she takes it and pushes it into her chest, and then she pushes it into his chest and gets closer and closer. It leads to their first kiss. And it ends up, obviously this girl hasn't had probably kissed anybody in her entire life. So she gets really into it and like pushes him into it like his wall. And he gets kind of upset. It's like, who taught you how to kiss? And the scene cuts and she goes home. So obviously I'm assuming that ended their date.
Susie,
yeah.
Well, at the end of that, she turns and she's like, Susie. Like, which instantly makes me think that she and Susie, like, have hot makeout sessions.
yeah, right.
Her practicing kissing on Susie, which is something I kind of wish they would show, but also I never actually want to see that visual in my eyes or in my mind. But to me, it implied that she and Susie had been making out just to make sure that, everything was going to go okay. One thing I've got to say about this moment is you really start to see, I mean, she's off from the beginning, but you start to see just how vulnerable and naive this girl is around here. And how, like you said, predatory some of these other characters are because of that. Because, I mean, it's maybe it's because now it's 2021 and it's been, almost 20 years since this movie came out, and we've seen a lot of evolution in how women are to be treated and how they are to be respected and what is and is not acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, this character, not only is her screw loose, but she's so vulnerable and she's so childlike in a lot of ways. And she's so obviously damaged. And yeah, right about when you hear that line about going back to my place, the movie kind of, I don't want to say the movie takes a different tone, but at least his character in that story
I
arc
agree.
does.
I agree. I think that was the moment he recognized her vulnerability and that he could take advantage of it. And he fully tried to take advantage of it. And it sort of backfired for him. And at this particular instance, we'll talk about what happens later with him. But she is pissed. She goes home and she like yells at fucking Susie. She's like, yeah, who told me? And she punches the her box that she's in and it cracks the glass even more. So are we either we're led to believe, like you said, she's been making out with Susie, or in her mind that Susie gave her instructions on like how to kiss? Again, I don't know.
Technically, she can't take Susie out of the case.
Oh, that's right. Maybe she's kissing the glass.
Well, she also has all those other dolls, though.
Oh, God, she has a room full of dolls.
She does have a room full of dolls.
I mean, it is terrifying. That room is... We didn't really take enough time to talk about that
Yeah, it's
room.
terrifying.
There's doll parts, doll heads.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah. And there is, if you look on the glass, there is a kiss mark in lipstick. There is. And so...
Oh, so maybe she was kissing Susie through the glass.
Which makes it that much more acceptable, I would say. At least it was through the glass. I mean, that's more normal, right?
Kiss me through the glass.
Yeah.
Isn't there a song called
fine.
Kiss Me Through the Phone? We can make Kiss Me Through the Glass.
Oh my God. And the song ends the same way that the movie does. But the next scene we have is back at the veterinarian's office.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
She's sad today.
I just gotta say that Anna Faris, in this scene specifically, is serving a hint of Samantha James from Just Friends. Remember, have you seen the movie Just Friends, where she plays like a Paris Hilton kind of character, and it's her greatest role. She's like Anna Faris turned up to like 130. She's like cranked up as weird as she can get, and like she's super sexual in this film. And so there's a few little moments in this dialogue here where she's really trying to seduce May, and she's even does that thing where she's like sucking on her thumb and everything. She's just so sexual with May. It's so overtly sexual, and May is so caught up in everything else that's going on, she doesn't even recognize it until
it goes right over
right over her
head
head until she just tells her. Yeah.
And she says it in the most seductive way, and it's like the most mundane thing you can think of doing with somebody, but Anna Faris makes it sound sexy, like I would do it. She's like, do you want to come watch me file? I'm like, what? But I would go do it. The way she said it, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm going to come watch you file.
Yeah.
And the next scene, poor May is sitting in this file room with Anna Faris looking bored to tears. And yeah, this is when Anna Faris kicks it into high gear with her sexuality. And she's like, come dance with me. We should start dancing. And she plays music and the dogs and shit start barking. And she's like, see, they want us to dance. And she proceeds to get on the table and crawl in front of May, all seductive like. And she's like, oh, come dance with me. And May finally gives in and they get up and they're like sort of dancing. And Anna Faris, Polly's character is like, do you like pussy?
Cats.
And May's like, what? May's like, what? Right away, May's like, what? She's like, cats. Do you like pussy cats?
This whole scene is it's great. And like they make her seem so genuinely interested in May that it is enough to kind of distract her a pinch from Adam.
But here's the thing. She, at this point, wants something from May. And what she wants from May is for May to take her cat. Because her landlady found out she has a cat and she's going to be kicked out if she doesn't get rid of it. she asked May to keep her cat, and she's like, it'll remind you of me. And May's like right away, okay, I'll take it. And all of a sudden, she's really happy. At that moment, though, she's like, okay, I gotta go. She's like, I'm going. I gotta go to ladies' night. And so, girls' night out. So I'm thinking, is she only acted that way to get her to agree to take her cat? Because once
she turns around right away, and she's like, "You wanna come?"
Yeah, she does invite her.
I think she knows she's not going to go.
Probably.
I mean, we've all done that. We know people. We all have friends that we know if we invite them to do something, they're not going to do it, but we do it anyways to be nice. Like, I really think I can't see May like being this club chick, and I think Polly knows that, so she knows she's not going to go. She does it to be nice, but because even when I don't know if you caught it. It's very subtle. When she turns around to May and says, "Do you want to go?" She has this, the grin on her face. And the minute May says no, she turns around and you can see her facial expression go stone cold. Like, it's very subtle, but I noticed it. Yeah. So I think she knew that she was just doing this to get May to do something for her. However, maybe I'm wrong, because the interaction with them as the film progresses, it does seem like she's generally cares about May, or is at least intrigued by her, or she just wants to fuck her. Yeah, I don't know, which is obvious too. So it's like one of those things. Is this character like, what are her intentions? It's hard to figure out. And I think
almost it's intentionally vague, because once it gets to a certain point, as the story progresses, I don't think May cares. I think she sees...
No, I don't think so.
She sees everything as kind of... Everyone is damaged. Everyone is a bunch of shitty parts, basically, as she says. And she's seeing the negative and everything.
Mm-hmm. She needs to make one perfect.
Yeah, because there's the point earlier in the film, I forgot to mention this, is May gets fixated on specific body parts of people.
Yeah.
And with Polly, she's fixated on her neck. Like, very early in the movie, there's a scene where May tells Polly, "You have a beautiful neck," which is, again, an awkward thing to tell somebody. So May goes home. Instead of going out with girls' night out with Polly, she goes home and she leaves Adam this awkward message on his answering machine.
And the answering machine, which is literally, "Please leave a message after the scream." Like, it's this like prolonged, blood-curdling scream. I love it.
And she leaves this awkward message that she's like, I don't know. It's weird. But she hangs up, and then she proceeds to just stare at the phone. Like, she is staring at the phone.
Yeah, like she's waiting for him to call back. Like, that's how it happens. It's instantaneous like that.
She looks like a wounded puppy. It's so sad.
Yes. And he doesn't call back.
Yeah.
And then we get a scene where... it's basically sort of I don't want to say a montage, but kind of a montage of her trying to run into him again. She goes to the laundromat and she shuts all of the machines so that it looks like they're being used, except the one next to her. And she's just sitting there, like, waiting for him to come to do his laundry. It's like, you're going to be waiting there. How do you... And then there's a scene where she's walking across the street and he's not there. So you're wondering, is he avoiding her? What's going on? So what does she proceed to do?
She goes to his house.
She goes to his house and stands on his porch. Doesn't knock, but stands on
for 2 hours.
For 2 hours until he comes out. Yeah, and he apologizes. He's like, "I'm so sorry. I've been busy with my movie, finishing my movie." And she's like, "Oh, you made a movie?" And he's like, "Yeah, just some college thing, but I finally finished it." And she asks if she can see it, which is charming. She's like, "I'll make you some macaroni and cheese." It's a date.
Macaroni and cheese and Gatorade. Specifically.
Yeah.
It's...
in wine glasses.
It's a winning combo in my book.
Yes.
But we eventually get treated to viewing Adam's movie. And it's called...
Which is a masterpiece.
It's called Jack and Jill. And listen, Katelynn, we could say what we want, but girl, you know that we've been in this movie so many times before. This is...
Well, I was going to say, also, I think I was in that movie, so...
Jack and Jill literally consists of a couple who go to a picnic, sit down, look lovingly at each other, and proceed to, like, devour each other. Like, they're biting off fingers, they're chomping into throats, and it's all, like, obviously chocolate syrup. It's done on the cheap. But again, we've all been on that set. But and at the as the film like progresses, May is like into it, and she like starts to like cuddle up into like Adam's arm. She's like enchanted with it.
Oh,
And
she's loving it. She's
loving
Yeah,
it.
she loves it.
She's loving it. And he, after it's wrapped up, he turns to her and he says, "What did you think?" And she says, "It was sweet." And he's like, "Sweet." Like the last word you used to describe this graphic depiction that they just watched.
But her only complaint, she does have a complaint. Remember? She's like, my only complaint is I don't think she could have bit off his finger in just one bite.
That part was kind of far-fetched.
Yeah, not the rest of it, but...
Just that part. Just that.
Yeah, you start to see, around this time, you also start to realize that May has like a complete disconnect between like pain and death and like love and romance. Like there is a complete disconnect by how these things like are on two polar opposite sides of, or should be on the opposite sides of the spectrum. For some reason, like she's very drawn to violence and blood and gore, and she's not at all put off by it. In fact, it kind of like turns her on, and you start to see that here. You really start to see that she's aroused by blood and violence. It doesn't faze her.
No, they go to her. Actually, this is when they go to her bed. They're gonna have sex. He takes her to her bed, and they're making out, and it's getting pretty passionate. He's taking his shirt off and feeling her up, and she's, she doesn't really know how to react initially. He's like, just hey, breathe, calm down, just breathe, and they're kissing, and as she bites him on the lip and causes him to bleed, and he's of course taken aback. He's like, what the fuck? And he backs up, and she proceeds to like wipe her hands on his bloody lip and starts wiping it all over her face.
Yeah, it was pretty morbid.
Yeah, and he is like, what are you doing? And then she's trying to kiss him, and he's like, what the hell are you doing? And she's like, well, it's just like your movie. And he's like, you know what? I gotta go. This is getting weird. And she's like, but I thought you liked weird. And he's like, no, not this weird. And he
not this weird.
And he leaves.
And even the fact with when she bites his lip, and he's obviously like taken aback by it, and he's wiping the blood away, and he looks at her, and she's like rubbing herself with it. Like the fact that she would take such an extreme thing and think that's something they're like connecting over, or when he says he likes weird, for her, that's like, that is her idea of like acceptable weird. That just goes to show just how, again, disconnected this girl is.
I really loved her body language in this scene where she's trying to have sex with him, because it kind of like she's just not used to touching other people. Like it's almost like she's afraid to like fully touch him, and it was just really uncomfortable. I know I keep using that word uncomfortable, because the whole movie I'm sitting there and I'm just like uncomfortable by everything. I'm like, what did Roger have me watch? What is this movie?
Yeah, it's super uncomfortable to watch. But he leaves, and as he's leaving, he does hear her yell at the doll. She's like, I told you to face the wall. And he's like, okay, yeah, I gotta get out of here. This is too much. She goes to his house, and he has a friend there, and he's smoking, and his friend tells him, hey, take that outside. So she's on the porch. He cracks the door open to see, to smoke out the door. And then she hears them. She hears Adam talking about her, and he's like, oh, I'm so glad I finally escaped that lunatic. And then there's a girl there that takes a cigarette from him, and she basically starts crying and runs away and goes home. And she cuts the hands off this toy action figure, which again, very symbolic, because that's all she's talked about is how beautiful his hands are. So it's almost like she knows now that their connection is probably not there anymore.
Yeah, they have like that weird makeout sequence. Yeah, where she has like a Barbie in this boxing figurine like making out, and it's the gloves are like this really bright red. It is super symbolic. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, the whole cutting off of the gloves is definitely something that carries through, and that theme carries through to the end of this movie. But so the dialogue she hears in the scene, it's really like, it cements the fact that Adam is also kind of a piece of shit. Like because he says to his friend, he says to him, "We're not talking about May. I have successfully escaped that." The whole conversation, she hears the whole thing, and the whole convo goes by without her being noticed once. And it shows just how meek and quiet and uncomfortable she is. And that whole time he just stands there and delivers this really scathing piece about how she's just kind of a freak, and how he's happy that he was able to get away from her. It's a very sad moment.
This was also the same doll that she was using to kind of symbolize him earlier in the movie when she was trying to figure out sex. So this was him.
Yeah. But still, I mean, if you had somebody that acted like that towards you, I mean, I can't say I totally blame him for at least acknowledging the fact that he's gonna separate himself from that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, his character is not very appealing at this point.
He's a predator. He was gross.
Polly calls her over to come to her house, and this is where basically they make out and have sex. I mean, it's like,
it's the most awkward lesbian makeout scene I have ever seen on camera. By the way, like the whole thing you said about Katelynn, about her seeming like she's not comfortable yet with touching people, it's on full display in this moment.
But Anna Faris is going to town on her.
Oh yeah, she got what she wanted.
Yeah. And it's funny. There's a scene where she's touching her. Polly is touching May, and May sees that she has this big old mole on her finger. That Polly has this big old mole on her finger, and she's you can tell all right away she's like grossed out by it. Her facial expression totally changes.
It looks like a cancerous mole. Like, it does not...
There's hair growing out of it.
It's so the opposite of what, like, that character is, too. Because she's always dressed, like, so, like, dressed up and, like, in tight little skirts and, like, high heels. And then she has this gigantic mole on her finger. It's just so, like, contradictory.
Yeah. And for some reason now, the next day or a couple days later, May goes to the school to ask about volunteering with the blind kids, the whole herd of them. The receptionist is a kind of a bitch. I just wanted to slap her.
Yeah, she was a huge bitch. She didn't look like she belonged there either.
She had like facial piercings, like chains hanging from her face. Like she was full gothed out in like red and black hair and like spikes, and she's working at this like school for like, special needs, and she's like, I want May comes in and she's like, I want to be with the children, I want to fill in with the kids, and she's like, you've got to be more specific, which ones do you want? And she just goes on a barrage of like really offensive terms.
So offensive.
It's so awful, but it was actually a very funny moment.
So she goes into the classroom to meet the kids, and we get little Petey. Was that her name, Petey?
Yeah,
Petey, the one is the girl that May is right away like gravitates towards because she can tell she's a loner, and the teacher's like, well, you can go to talk to her, but she doesn't really like people. The teacher goes over to Petey, and she's like, Petey, we have somebody that's here to see you, and she's like, beat it, you buzzle knob, or some weird word she called. And she's like, you're so mean to me, Petey. But Petey is making an ashtray. And May's like, do you smoke? She's like, no. Do you? And she's like, yeah, I smoke. Well, you can have the ashtray when I'm done with it. It's kind of a sweet little moment. The two little awkward.
Yeah. And May is thrilled. She's carrying it around with her. She's very, very happy with the ashtray.
So later, she runs into Adam at the laundromat again. And you can tell her demeanor is a little bit different towards him now. You can tell, you can tell she kind of still likes him, but she's definitely not as enamored anymore with him as she has been in the rest of the film. He asks her how she's doing, and she's like, she's great. She's like, I'm great. I've been making some friends, and she has the cat with her. But his response is, well, this washer's broke. I got to go to a different laundromat. And once he leaves, she goes and puts money into the washer and it's not broke. So, he just wanted to get away from her and she's bummed by it. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's really sad. She's so defeated. And again, like, so vulnerable. Like, she takes, like, anybody would be, I think, anybody would feel super shitty if somebody, like, tried to fake out on them and ditch them, acting like the machine is broken. But she takes these things so personally because she's never had these kinds of connections with people before, and so it's really hard to watch as this movie goes on and you see some of these blows that she takes. Her character just processes them so harshly, she really takes it to
In a
heart.
very childlike way.
Yeah.
She
Mm-hmm.
goes to Polly's apartment now because she feels like probably Polly is her only other friend and she wants some attention. She wants some interaction. But Polly has a girl over that we never see. We only see her legs.
I love the way that they choreograph this.
I know, it's just her legs. And May is visibly upset and storms away. She goes home, and this is the scene. She's like sitting on the floor with all these doll parts and the ashtray, and she asks the poor cat to come see her. She's like, I've had a rough day. Come see me. And the cat just hisses at her and walks away. And what does she do? This is the part I was like, oh no.
I know, I felt the same way during this.
I forgot about this specific moment, and after I watched this, I was like, Katelynn will not be able to handle this. Because I did not give her any...
I was not thrilled.
I did not give her any pre-warning, and Katelynn loves cats, and I know this about her.
I love cats so much.
But May, in all her rage, throws her brand new ashtray at the cat and kills it. She must have quite the pitch, because that cat is destroyed.
It is destroyed. It's she must have hit it in the head, I'm assuming, to kill it. I don't know. But now she's in the shower with the dead cat in the shower with her. And she's calling she calls Adam, and this is another very awkward scene because she's like, hey, is Adam there? And he's like, hey, what's up? And you think he recognizes who it is, the way he says that. And he's like, she's like, I just wanted to know if you wanted to do anything tonight. And he's like, who is this? And she's like, it's May. And he goes silent.
It shifts very quickly. It's very...
Yeah, he's like, what do you want? She's like, I was just wondering if we can do something. He's like, I'm busy. And she's like, well, what about tomorrow? And he's like, maybe. And she's like, oh, great. I'll see you tomorrow then.
Yeah, she's not processing the messages that a lot of people are giving her at this point. And she is taking this all to heart. And her decline at this point becomes very... it ramps up. Like, the pacing of the movie takes a different tone, As she starts to spiral, the movie kind of goes into high gear, especially like the last half hour, 40 minutes of this movie. Shit happens fast. And a lot of this I really just associate with her mental state. She's not keeping it together. And as that happens, you get a lot of really fast cuts, fast transitions to different moments. You can really see her mental state translated across the film, I feel.
Yeah, and then the scene ends with her telling Susie that she hates her. So what did Susie do? I don't understand. But she hates...
Well, Susie has been very omnipresent through all of this. Let us be clear.
If Susie didn't teach her how to kiss so poorly, then none of this would have happened.
Exactly.
But if for hating Susie, she does something that is kind of odd. She takes Susie to the school for the blind kids. And this was another awkward scene because she basically has the doll has been in this glass case the entire movie. It's never come out of the case. She's not supposed to take it out of the case, but she just has this glass box and she's like she's like, kids, what do I have here?
Oh, yeah, this was kind of weird.
How are they supposed to know? Even if they touch it, it's a glass.
It just feels like a box.
Yeah. But she's like, what do I have? And they're like, I don't know. What is it? And so even the kids are touching the glass and they're like, what is it? We don't know what it is. And she's like, it's my best friend. And they're like, oh.
A box?
And then one of the girls is like, oh, it must be inside the box. And she's like, very good. And now they want her to take the doll out of the box. And she's like, no, I can't do that. Well, Petey's a little aggressive ass, goes right over and starts grabbing the box out of her hand. And there's a tug of war between May and the blind kids trying to get this box open. And the box, what happens? The box drops.
And it just shatters around all of these blind kids.
The blind kids don't know that now the floor is covered with glass. They're trying to get to the doll. So there is a prolonged scene of all these blind kids crawling over broken glass.
Little knees, little hands.
They're screaming bloody murder.
Crazy.
Blood's everywhere.
This scene is almost like surreal the way they did it, because it goes into like the kids, the one girl, Petey, she's like, she must be out of the box now, and they all put their hands up and they all go down in like slow motion, and you see like the other teacher like scream out and like get up to run and trip over a chair, and it's all just happening in slow motion, and it's so
hard
to watch. Like the children keep crawling through the glass, but as they're screaming, but they're also like fighting for the doll and destroying it. It's like a horde mentality. And like May is just sitting there rocking with the doll in tears. It is very sad. It's a very difficult scene to watch.
The doll has basically been ripped apart. I mean, the kids ripped the doll apart. So May is going home and she just has, all she has are the doll parts.
Covered in blood.
Dismembered. And they're covered in all the kids' blood. And she takes it home and she's trying to put it together again. And she can't get it. And then she starts scratching her eyes like furiously.
Yeah. I have such an eye phobia too. And like I said, Roger didn't tell me anything about this movie. I have such an eye phobia.
She scratches her eyes and then she falls asleep with the dead cat on top of her and some doll parts covering her face.
She keeps spraying it with Lysol though, so it's fine.
Yeah, she sprays the cat with Lysol. Yeah. Polly calls to wake her up, and this is when she wakes up and she takes the doll parts off of her face, and her eyes are just like, ugh. They're bloodshot. They're bloody. It's just.
Yeah. So what I take away is like you see it when she's fighting with the children, she's wiping her eyes, like she's rubbing her eyes.
Yeah, there's glass in her eyes.
Yeah, well, she's those new contacts. So that are keeping her eyes from being, wonky. So the glass shards in my mind got under the contacts, but every once in a while if you listen to the audio, you hear like glass like crunching of glass.
Yeah, you can.
And it's
so
awful.
Gross.
Oh, and like, yeah.
It's so gross.
I feel you on the eye phobia, Caitlin. Like, I do not like anything. Oh, it's so awful. But yeah, so now she's back in her glasses. She's kind of like reverting back to how she was before she got that newfound confidence there for a moment with her contacts and her sexy clothing. She's like reverting back to how May was prior.
Yeah, and then this is a random scene where she is at a bus bench and next to her is James Duvall's character, which I don't know if he has a name. I'm just going to call him Hair, because what was up with that hair?
Rightfully
that
so.
Hair was ridiculous. Did anybody actually ever wear their hair that way? I mean, I could see like a mohawk, but this was like part of it was vertical, part of it was horizontal. It was just
trying to be Liberty Spikes, but it was really bad. Also, I would like to know if he did his own hair or if he got to set and somebody did that to him.
Well, I think they want this character to look as like dregs of society as possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if you look at it, like his mohawk, it's like wilting in the heat. Like it's like a soft, malleable mohawk. And like when he takes his shirt off, because inevitably he takes his shirt off, it like kind of flops to the side. It's not like a great mohawk. No. It is something that some guy did with super glue in his basement. So I wouldn't be shocked if he like took it on himself. He's like, this is a character choice, because it's a good character choice.
Yeah, it was a great character choice.
Yeah, it makes me hate him right off the bat.
Yes. Yeah. Well, he wants her to. He invites her to go have jujubes with him.
Yes.
Which those are those candies, right? Yeah. Those gummy candies that make your teeth stick together. Those are gross. But they go back to her apartment and are eating jujubes. And these characters are just so weird.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, it's getting hot in here. Do you mind if I take my shirt off? And she's like, do what you want. So he takes his shirt off. And then he's like, oh my God, I'm still hot. He's like, do you got some ice cubes I can put on my nipples?
And he runs into the kitchen, and she's like, no, don't do that. And he opens the freezer and finds Loopy, the cat, wrapped in like plastic wrap in the freezer. And he's like, whoa, dude, you're a freak. And she's like, oh, he's my friend. And he's like, that's weird. I'm not going to be your friend. Like, he like just like loses his shit on her. And for some reason, this is the breaking point. Like, for some reason,
was the last straw. This guy was the last straw.
Which I can see.
I get it.
I get it.
That hairdo, he deserved what's coming to him.
Yeah, that awful mesh.
Because she actually grabs a pair of scissors and stabs him to death with the scissors. She stabs him through his hand as he's backing away. She stabs him through his hand and then takes his hand and smashes it into his face so that the scissors impale themselves into his eye or his head.
Like his skull.
Yeah.
And he's like, blood's everywhere. And then she just looks deadpan at the camera and she's like, I need more parts. And we're like, okay, we know what's going to happen now.
Oh, yeah. One pivotal thing at the bench that I want to acknowledge is when he sits down next to her, she's like kind of in her own little world. And he's trying to make conversation with her. And she says, so many pretty parts, no pretty holes. Because she's watching all the people walk by. And this is a concept that carries throughout the rest of the film. And we see it on full display with this whole sequence that happens leading up to this guy being killed. She starts to identify in people the parts that she thinks are the best. The physical parts, obviously with Adam, she's been focusing on the hands, but every character kind of has a little feature that she focuses on. And you mentioned this, Troy, but this is where it becomes a literal thing. To May, it transitions beyond being, symbolic or figurative and literally becomes what are the good parts of the people that I like the most.
Yeah. I mean, it's very Frankensteinish. I mean, I'm assuming the parallel there is meant to be.
Something I thought was interesting is right before she killed that guy with the hair, he did have a Frankenstein tattoo right on his bicep.
Yes.
And I thought that was a fun little call out because like that's what she's doing. So I thought that was fun.
That's what she likes about him because she tells him, "Oh, I like your tattoo."
Yeah.
And it's a Frankenstein
and that's his
tattoo.
arms. She likes his arms.
Yes, because she uses his arms later. We'll get to the end. We're not going to spoil the end. But after this, she runs into Adam at the park and she's reading. She's just reading, and he's like, "Hey, May," and he's trying to be, civil to her, even though we know he's an asshole. Like, well, just quit talking to her. If you don't want anything to do with her,
don't talk to her.
But he does.
Get out of here.
He's like, "Hey, May, how are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm fine." And again, I love the fact that I think at this point we know, based on her reaction to him, that she has pretty much made up her mind what she's gonna do, because she's not even really all that fazed by him or entertained by him. He's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm reading." He's like, "Oh, what you reading?" She's like, "About amputation." He's like, "Oh, for work?" She's like, "No, for fun." But then there is a kind of a moment where he does bend down and get in her face, and he's like, May, I just want to say I apologize for things not working out. Things just didn't seem right. And I love this moment because she does this, Angela Bettis does this thing that I think, again, these little quirks where she taps the side of her head, over and over again. She's like, "I understand." And she just keeps tapping her head. And it's like that little quirk that that she is, again, made up her mind what she's going to do. And that she understands. My take on that was she understands now what she has to do to get a true friend. She's made up her mind. So she understands it's not a big deal. He gets up to leave and he offers her a handshake. And she does this one final awkward thing where she starts kissing his hand. And he's like, pulls away real quick, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go." And then she's like, bye hand, I'll see you later," which very foreboding.
Yes, and he looks at her, he walks away and stops and looks back, and you could tell that he's like, this girl is wackadoo. And I do acknowledge the fact that he did try to apologize. I think he also acknowledges that she's a little bit more off than he ever expected, and probably sees the potential kind of danger in that. Not necessarily expecting her to do what she ends up doing, but just the danger in damaging someone like that, or, having a stalker, somebody who takes something to an extreme. People process these things in lots of weird different ways, and unfortunately for the other characters in this film, May processes things pretty violently.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also feel like this is like in that scene, her demeanor has completely changed. Like she is not the same person that she was in the beginning of the movie by this time.
Yeah, it's not at all, especially in the next scene, because the next scene is her and Polly outside of the animal hospital, and she's measuring Polly, taking Polly's measurements, like
touching people, and okay with it. Like she's okay with human contact at this point.
And Polly's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, I'm making you a blouse." And Polly's like, "Oh, you're so sweet."
Oh, she's thrilled with it.
And then Polly's girlfriend shows up, Legs. And we finally get to see her. Ambrosia.
Ambrosia. What a name.
Like the salad.
She tells Ambrosia that she has beautiful gams. Nice gams.
Nice gams.
And Ambrosia is not a fan of May from the start. You can tell, I love this chick. I wish she was in more of the movie because her facial reactions and just her dialogue, Ambrosia has everything going on. She's gorgeous. She's got legs for days. No wonder she likes her gams because they are great. And she's just hilarious. She's such a bitch.
She's such a bitch. It's so great.
And she's measuring May up. Poor little May. She's always looking at her. You could tell she's got a jealousy streak because she knows that that Polly has a thing for May. It's pretty clear that there's some weird, awkward jealousy there.
Yeah, and they go back inside and Polly and Ambrosia are giggling and making out. May proceeds to load her bag with all of the surgical equipment that is available at this veterinary hospital. We're talking scalpels, saws, everything. She's throwing it in her bag. And then she proceeds to go home and get dressed up for Halloween. And who does she dress up as for Halloween, Roger?
Fucking Susie. Who else? And everyone's obviously going to know it. But let me tell you, all that aside, that dress, I'd wear it any day of the fucking week.
It's super cute.
Oh my God. It's so... She uses all of her red fabrics and everything to make a sexy version of Susie's dress. And she puts white powder on her skin. She literally becomes Susie, which is, again, very symbolic. But she finally has the confidence to go out and make her dream come true. Her dream being finding her perfect counterpart by whatever means necessary.
Yeah, I love the change in her character at this point.
I do too. I love it so much.
I mean, she nails it. It's a completely different character.
Yep, it is.
The confidence there. She doesn't take things to heart anymore. I mean, she's very matter of fact. It's just really cool to see the transition that she makes because she's now dragging a cooler throughout town. She goes to Polly's house for Halloween and she's dressed all, to the hilt in this Susie outfit. So Polly invites her in and they're sitting on the couch and Polly's like, "Do you have my blouse?" And she leans back and May proceeds to pull out 2 scalpels. Okay. And puts them towards her neck. I would be freaked out. However, I think that, I'm not going to sit there and let you do that. But I think the scene earlier in the film where they have that scalpel play, it does make Polly think that, she's not going to hurt me.
Yeah, this is just a thing that May does.
Yeah, she even takes her blouse off, and she's there in her bra. It's got very, a sexy, kink factor to it. It's clear up to the very last moment that Polly thinks that this is all kind of kink play, which makes it even more, uncomfortable considering what happens.
She has the line where she's like, "I trust you, May. I know you would never hurt me." And, 3 seconds later, May slits her throat.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't even 3 seconds later. It was almost simultaneously, she said that line and then and I was like, I mean, I knew it was going to happen, but poor Polly.
And you don't see any you don't like when you see May's facial reactions when they cut back to her in like this sequence and moving forward. There's not like ever a moment of doubt or hesitation. There's never a pause. Like one of the most consistent things now is she is so fixated on getting what she wants. She has no question about how to achieve that. And this kill, yeah, she just goes right in and slits Polly's throat. And next shot you see is like a wide shot of the living room with like they have this like white fur carpet and it's pink with blood, and you just see her feet like sprawled out, and Ambrosia stumbles into the house drunkenly and never even notices because she's wasted. She never even sees that that her girlfriend is dead in the next room, just sprawled out on the carpet.
No, but May goes in the kitchen and meets Ambrosia, and Ambrosia is like, such a bitch.
Such a bitch.
She's like,
So rude.
what are you doing here? Yeah. She's like, there's that moment where she says something and May chuckles, and then Ambrosia like exaggerate, like chuckles back at her, like making fun of her. And then she's like, you're so fucking weird. I don't know what Polly sees in you. And again, the character is completely transitioned because she's just no nonsense. May's like, Polly doesn't see anything.
Yeah, I loved that. She's just not
And
even phased.
she demands Ambrosia. She like straightforward demands Ambrosia turns around and shows off her gams, her legs to her. And Ambrosia is drunk and she's like creeped out, and understandably so. But she like appeases her in jest. Like she turns around, she's like, "How is that for you?" Like she's such a bitch about it. And May is obviously satisfied, and she takes out 2 sewing needles and jams them into Ambrosia's temples. Pop, like right into her, into the sides of her head. And she's drinking out of this milk carton, and you just see like the milk drop and the blood start like mixing with the milk.
It was a great shot.
Cool kill.
It
I've
looked
always
really
been a fan
cool.
of this. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. And yeah, it's May's a woman on a mission now. Because she's dragging...
Yeah, there's no hesitation.
No, she's dragging her cooler in. Where she go next? She goes to Adam's house. And he answers the door, and he's like, obviously very dismissive. He's like, what are you doing here? And she's like, what makes it even more awkward is he has a girl over now. The girl, there's a conversation where he says something, he calls her May, and the girl's like very like, this is May? And May shoots her this glance and then shoots a glance back to Adam. So you know exactly what she's thinking. That, you know, Adam must have told her I'm some sort of freak, because then the girl is like jokingly, do you want to come in and have a drink? And May just barges right in, and Adam's like to the girl, he's like, thanks a lot. And now this whole scene is so freaking uncomfortable to watch. The 3 of them sitting at the table.
Yeah.
And she is sitting across from Adam, and she's like, touch my face. And he's like, what? And she's like, touch my face.
Yeah, and the girlfriend, the girl in the cat ears, because he's dressed up like a Grecian, like a Roman king, and she's dressed up like a kitty cat. And she's like egging it on because she's kind of starting to hear things in the dialogue that's kind of getting her pissed off at Adam. So she's kind of like playing along with May. And he even at one point calls the girlfriend like a dumbass, and she's like, oh, I guess I'm the dumbass. Like, you could tell like they already have like this kind of tumultuous relationship, which I think is why she's just egging on this interaction with May, because she knows that he has no desire to interact with May.
Yeah, and she is insistent that he touches her face, and the girl is getting mad. The girl like gets on Adam's lap and is like, he's mine. These hands are mine. And she starts taking his fingers in her mouth and sucking on him, and May's like, stop that. I mean, it's very uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable.
The girl and Adam like kind of gets up, like it's kind of like he's drunk and he's kind of stumbling, and the girl falls on the floor, and May goes over and helps the girl up, and she's like, touch my face, and he touches her like in the most kind of, what's the word, dismissive way as possible. He takes his index finger, just bops her on the forehead with it.
Yeah.
And at this same moment, she stabs the girl in the neck with the scalpel, the girlfriend who's standing right next to him. And Adam's like screaming. And we find out what she does to Adam.
Yeah.
She stabs him in the stomach with the scalpel. But because the scene cuts to her dragging the cooler home, and then it cuts back to we see what she did to Adam, which was stab him in the gut with the scalpel. And we're back at her apartment, and she's she's washing all the parts in the bathtub. There's a scene of her like scrubbing the legs, you know.
The prop for the legs is so great because like it even like has like a meaty texture to like she's washing it and like you could see the fat in the legs like kind of like has like a natural kind of bounce to it like meat would. It's such a effective shot, this whole little tub shot. But yeah, she's like it's very like all part of the process for her. Like she's not fazed by any of it. When she's pulling the cooler, I have to say that like as she's dragging the cooler, this one girl walks by her in a Halloween costume and she's like, wow, great costume. You got any cold ones in there? And May's like, why, yes, I do. And like, wink, wink. Like, there's some one-liners in this movie that are actually pretty great. And that's one of them.
So she has all the parts that she needs, and her vision, she proceeds to sew them together to make a giant doll. It's a life-size Susie, but it has all the parts of the best parts of these people that she's encountered. So you got the legs from Ambrosia, you got the torso and neck from Polly, you got Adam's hands, you got weird hairs, arms. It doesn't have a head. It's like, what is the head? The head is like a...
Isn't it the cat like rolled up?
I don't... Is it the cat?
Because you see... I think she wraps like the red fabric around
you know what? I think it is.
Because she then she...
Yeah, because the cat was her friend.
Yeah. Then she places Susie's like eyes on top of it, and then the ears are the girls. Because she complimented the girls' earrings, remember? So the ears are...
Yeah.
She takes the ears from the girl with the cat ears. So like, yeah, everybody has contributed like a little part. And then obviously Ambrosia's luscious legs are the gams. But she's done with the process of constructing this doll, and she looks down at it, and it still just doesn't seem complete to her.
She says, you can't see me. Well, she says she's talking to the doll and she's like, I can feel you here. And then she's like, touches the doll's chest and she's like, you're going to feel me here. And then she realizes something's not right. And she starts screaming, you can't see me. I just want you to see me. It's so sad. And her acting in these last few minutes of the film is fucking incredible. Incredible.
Yeah.
So she realizes the doll can't see her, so she goes to her mirror and she's just crying, hysterically. And she sees scissors on the floor and she picks the scissors up and, stabs herself in the eye with the scissors so that she can gouge her eyeball out to give to the doll.
Oh my god. Why did it have to be scissors? Like, the way they film it, you don't see the penetration of the scissors, but like you hear
it. Yeah, it's horrifying.
And like it's gross. It's super gross.
I covered the screen up, I'm not going to lie, during this part of the movie.
But she pulls that eye out and she places it atop the head of the doll, which is now named Amy because she broke she shattered the ashtray and she like reconstructed the letters of May to spell a different name. So the doll is Amy. And so Amy now has a real eye. She has May's eye, and apparently that has given her sight. And so May lays down sobbing beside her, bleeding profusely from her eye, and in a strangely touching, tender moment, she kind of settles in, and the sobs kind of subside. And Katelynn, what happens?
The doll picks up its hand and it touches her face.
It caresses her face.
And she smiles.
It caresses her face.
And she smiles and she's comforted.
And she is pure bliss.
Mm-hmm. And that's
the end.
Yep. And that's the end of the movie.
Which, again, what the fuck?
But I think, you know what, here, looking back on this, like, is that really what happened, or is that what she wanted to happen?
I mean, how it's what she wanted to happen.
My thought is it was in her mind.
That's what I think too. And I couldn't tell, like, if that moment in time, I was like, is she dying? Like, is this like her last like dying like thought that's going through her head? Is that this doll is touching her? I don't know how long it takes to bleed out from an eye wound.
I would say it'd be pretty quick, I would imagine. I mean,
it is your head.
But my thought on it is
the shock.
I personally think she's imagining it, and because there's nothing else in the film. even though you kind of said there was, Roger, with the supernatural element, I don't think there's like enough in the film to justify this particular ending being like real.
Yeah, I
I guess
agree.
when I say supernatural, it's not so much that I think there's like ghosts and spirits around them, as it is. I think that what you have going on, like you said this, Caitlin, with the doll, with Susie, and like even heard the audible like breaking of the glass and it making, it kind of causes her to have that breakdown in the shower and everything earlier. She's obviously, I would say, almost maybe got like a schizophrenic kind of thing going on.
Sure, absolutely. She's obviously unstable. She's obviously ill.
Yeah. And so she's hearing things and seeing things that may or may not be real. So I'm sure, I feel that I used the wrong terminology when I said that there's something supernatural. It's more just that there's a heightened alternate reality that as towards May's experience versus everybody else in this movie. But even that is very subtle. Like, you don't get a ton of it until this final moment. Aside from some of these moments with Susie and the glass breaking at very specific times and everything on the case. But yeah, this last moment I think is more symbolic than anything. Though I do think it's very strange, Troy, that we have reviewed 2 films within a matter of like a month period that end with the same note.
Yeah.
Two stitched together,
Pieces.
Pieces having the stitched together body reach up and rip a man's penis off at the end of a movie. This is a far more...
Which again just didn't make any... Yeah, which just didn't make any sense because like I just said about this film, this Pieces definitely has zero supernatural element to it. So that ending was way just out of left field, unbelievable. This one, I mean, it does make you think, did this really happen or is she hallucinating? I personally have always thought that she's hallucinating, that this is she's just freaking murdered, 4 people? I mean, obviously her mental state is very fragile. She just cut her eyeball out to give to a doll.
Yeah.
This was her last, like, it was in her last desperate attempt to make this friend actually see her, because remember, she's screaming, "Just see me. All I want is for you to see me." And there for a while, I thought she did die, but the reason I know that she's not dead is because when the doll starts caressing her face, she does smile. But there for a moment, I did think she was dead.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I do think it's hallucination.
Yeah.
I really do.
I agree.
Because
and
I can't
agree.
I can't justify it being a real
Right.
Yeah.
reality.
But in being a hallucination, in that, it's still very impactful.
Sure,
Because,
absolutely.
it's, when you think of what she's gone through mentally, especially, what she's gone through the course of this film, trying to find a companion, and in a way, it gives you some strange element of peace. Like, the shot gives you this weird kind of feeling of almost like she found what she was looking for. And I don't know why, like, you can leave this movie in the midst of such like a sad and violent and destructive ending and still feel like, in a way, not happy for her, but like that aspect of her soul is calmed, I hope. But I mean, you never see any follow up on the aftermath, like what happened with all these murders she committed. Does she die? What happens from here? I mean, it literally just it leaves you on that note, and you really don't know any of the ramifications, any of the punishment that would come with a mass murder and sewing the body parts together. Like, this is just the beginning of May's journey. Let's be real here. But
Absolutely.
it was
Yeah.
still very elegantly portrayed. That final moment, like we said earlier, you want to see May, no matter what she does in this movie, the way she's played by Angela Bettis, expertly played by Angela Bettis, it leaves you feeling so just I mean, I don't want to just say sad for her. There's so much more to it, but like you kind of yearn for her to find some form of happiness, because she's like just like kind of a tortured soul. She has no peace, she has no happiness in her life. She has nobody. And you still want to see her find that, even though she's going about it in a very destructive way.
It's a very depressing film.
Yeah.
In many senses. I mean, but it's well acted. It's very impactful. It's probably one of the better indie horror films to come out in the last 20 years. I mean, it has a following, and the following is very deserved. But yeah, that final shot, I think what makes that final shot even more sort of creepy and effective is it's completely silent. There's no score or anything, and you just see the hand raise, and come, and you're like, what the hell? And you know what? I think the first time I saw this film, I had to rewind it because I thought when I first watched it, and I know it's not the case, I thought that she herself was grabbing the hand and putting it on her face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she did with Adam at the beginning of the film with his hand. I thought
Yeah.
that's what was happening, is she was putting the hand there herself. But then I realized that's not what was happening. So again, hallucination. Her last little wish before she either passes away or spends her life in prison. I mean, that's the reality. Because she certainly didn't clean up the crime scene and get rid of the DNA. So.
There's one line in this film that comes up a few times that, like, it really sums up her character and her the fact that she's mistranslating a lot of things, misunderstanding a lot of things. And her mama says to her early in the film, and then she carries it with her: if you don't have any friends, make one.
Make one.
Meaning, like,
yeah.
go make a friend, go meet somebody. And she takes it literally, and she has no friends, and so she makes one. And it is such a full circle moment for that final 20 minutes of the film where she's literally constructing this friend, and just how she misunderstands all social norms to begin with, and really just does not know how to manage living a day-to-day with other people. It is a very depressing film, and you really want her to find happiness, and it's very sad that she doesn't. But like I said, in a way, you're left feeling strangely like she kind of does, because of the way they end it, the way that they conclude the story. So it's weird. I feel like I feel like when the movie ends, I'm feeling the wrong emotions. Like I should be like more sad, but in a way I'm kind of like, aw.
She created the perfect friend. That's what she set out to do.
He loves her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She made the perfect friend.
So, Katelynn, upon your first viewing, what did you think of this film overall?
I mean, I really liked this movie. I wasn't sure if I was going to when it first started with the scenes with the mom, because I was like, I don't know, like that's like it's right away with the doll and everything. I'm like, this is gonna be hokey. But then as soon as Angela Bassett was on screen, I was like, oh, she's amazing. And then obviously the other characters are quickly introduced, and the cast is just really, really great. She's my favorite part of the movie, hands down, but I do really like the story. And I agree, like, I felt a lot of emotions when it ended, and I don't think that I was feeling what I should have been feeling, because I was like, oh, like she's got her friend.
I mean, she got what she wanted.
I mean, she got her friend. She got her friend. It's a very sympathetic character, even though, I mean, let's be honest, she's a psychopath. She murdered Polly, for crying out loud.
Yeah, she murdered Polly.
She murdered
the cat.
Let's not forget about the cat that becomes the doll's head. So yeah, I mean, it's a great film. It's one of, like I said, it's one of my favorite films of the last 20 years by far. I think it holds up extremely well. Like you said, upon this viewing, it doesn't seem like it's going to be 20 years old at all. It still feels very fresh, even though it's a concept that's sort of been done before. But this one does it extremely well, and it's really cool to see a female, protagonist with this particular like murderous trait that she's being driven by wanting to create the perfect person. It's like a female version of Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm. But all for the sake of wanting to be loved, and not even necessarily always.
She just wants to be loved and accepted, for who she is.
It doesn't even need to be romantic. It's more of just finding that person that accepts you for who you are, all your flaws, So, yeah. That is May, and that is Katelynn Newberry. Katelynn, thank you so much for joining us for this review.
Thank you, guys.
My goodness. You helped make my birthday so much more special. So before we conclude this, Katelynn, let the listeners know really quick, what do you have coming up that you'd really like to promote, and how can they learn more about you and learn more about your projects, and where can they follow you? Give us the spiel.
I mean, you can all follow me on social media. If you just Google my name, Katelynn Newberry, like I will pop up one way or another, I will pop up. I mostly stick to Instagram because I am way too lazy to use more than one platform. I have a couple projects lined up, but unfortunately, I can't really disclose any information right now. I just worked on a movie called Cult of Blood with Dave Sheridan and Felissa Rose, and I will be going back and doing another movie with that same company next year-ish. So that's kind of exciting. And then I have a couple of things that are not going to be shot in this country. So yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. Fancy schmancy McGoo over here.
Yeah.
Traveling the world in its many places. That's awesome, Katelynn. That's so awesome. And I hope I get back on set with you again soon. And I hope I see you again soon. And it's all the reason in the world for me to come to Atlanta to see your beautiful face. So until then, this has been wonderful to see you over my laptop and hear your voice. And I'm excited that all of our listeners will get to hear your voice. And guys, I urge you to follow Katelynn on social media, support her films, go watch Mother Krampus 2 Sleigh Ride, go watch American Poltergeist, The Curse of Lilith Ratchet, where I play her lover, though you wouldn't know it. But yeah, but please just support Katelynn as she supported us. We love her more than the world. And Troy, what do we got coming up next week? Because I know it's another exciting episode.
It is another exciting episode. We will have another guest next week, and I'm excited about it because we've actually, if you remember, Roger, before we'd even met each other, like actually in person, we actually guested on his podcast, remember?
The Grave Dancers episode, right?
Yes, the Grave Dancers. We're talking about the one and only Patrick Walsh, who hosts the Scream Queens podcast.
We can't get a better fit for our show.
Right? He is going to be our guest next week, and we are going to be talking about a film that I admittedly have never seen, but it's should be a good one. It's called All About Evil. Have you seen that, Roger?
I have not, no.
It's directed by Joshua Grinnell, better known as Peaches Christ.
Oh my God, yes.
And it has Natasha Lyonne, Mink Stoll, Thomas Dekker, Cassandra Peterson, aka Elvira. So I cannot believe I've never seen it. So I'm excited to watch it. And we know Patrick is going to bring a lot of fun to that.
Oh my God. The levels of sass. The sass. I can't wait. 3 times the sass. You get 3 gays in one show. What more could you possibly want?
Exactly. So if you haven't watched All About Evil, watch it before then. So yeah, so you can enjoy our episode without worrying about the film being spoiled. So
definitely,
yeah, that's next week.
Definitely. Woo-hoo. Exciting things to come after our 30th episode. We're going to double it. We're going to get to 60 and then we're going to have a big old party. But until then, guys, please tune in. Please support Katelynn Newberry and everything she does. And please come back and check us out next week. But until then, please go vote on our social medias and all of our different platforms. Give us a star rating. Give us some love. Give us some support. We need it.
We need it. That's how we continue to grow. And that's what motivates us to keep doing this. Knowing that people are listening, knowing people are enjoying it, that's really motivating to both of us. So yeah, give us a review on Apple Podcasts, hit the 5-star rating, leave a little review, and it would mean the world to us because like I said, that's what motivates us to take the time every week to record these episodes, to edit the episodes, to know that you guys are enjoying it. So we appreciate you very much. So next week.
We'll see you then. But till then, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful night. And Katelynn, I love you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.